Hey there, good morning, real estate world. John Moss for General Property Management right here in good old Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So today we're going to talk about wind and hail damage. We had a big storm last week. Since then, we've learned a lot. I'd like to share with you what we've learned because we have a lot of property to manage. We get to learn things a lot quicker than most people. So we're going to share that with you. A little disclaimer. This is not advice. I'm just telling you some things I learned. Do with it, do with this information what you want. So I'd say the first thing you probably should do is understand the insurance company that you're working with if you're making an insurance claim for wind hail damage. Different companies are rated differently. And if you're going to rate the financials, I would say you can look at Fitch or AM Best. What we're more concerned probably with is paying claims. Look at Standard and Poor's, look at Moody's, customer satisfaction. We're concerned about that. JD Powers and the Better Business Bureau. And also I would look at complaints, the NAIC, National Association of Insurance Commissioners, to see what kind of insurance company you're dealing with. If they're a great company and they're just going to write you a check, there you go, one and done. But there are all kinds of variables with making an insurance claim. Another one, understand your insurance policy. Some policies are actual cash value. They're going to pay you out the value of that roof. If that roof is a 30-year roof and it's like 2/3 through its life, you're probably only going to get like 1/3 of the value of the roof, and you're going to have to come up with the other part out of your pocket, minus depreciate or minus deductibles, etc. Um, if you have replacement cost coverage on your roof, depending upon your type of policy, they just might write you a check. Here you go. There's your roof. They could pay you two installments. They pay you initially up front for a payment minus depreciation. When you replace the roof, then they pay you for the rest of the cost of the roof. They pay you the balance later. Understand your deductibles. So let's say you find out that your policy is a $2,500 deductible, and when you really read into it, you're like, oh gosh, it's $2,500 per structure. And you're like, oh, I have two structures because I have a detached garage and I have my house. 2,500 plus 2,500, $5,000 is going to have to come out of my pocket to have my roof and my garage roof and my house roof fixed. And then you have siding damage too. You have other things to worry about too. But and then the insurance adjuster's there, and you make the mistake of saying to the insurance adjuster, yeah, I was going to make a claim 2 years ago or 3 years ago because that storm then did damage to my roof, to my siding, to my house, to my garage. And I didn't make the claim because I, oh, well, it's not that bad. I'll just live with it. And well, geez, your insurance policy says you have a $2,500 deductible per occurrence. So now your $5,000 deductible just became 10,000. 2,500 plus 2,500 house plus garage plus occurrence, 10 grand. So know your policy. And also some policies have special provisions for wind and hail. So understand that stuff. Kind of need to know about storm chasers. So on Monday I get home, pull into my driveway at like 5:30 at night, and there's a truck there with Minnesota license plates, and it's a guy who's there. He's been walking on my roof to I didn't ask him to walk on my roof. Maybe my wife did. I don't know. So I barely get in the house. Then, he leaves. I'm in my house and barely have my shoes off. And there's somebody at the front door. Another storm chaser there wanting to walk on my roof. So I just kind of tell him, move along, another out of town person. Later that evening, a third one shows up. So why do all these people keep showing up wanting to walk on my roof? It's crazy. Well, it's because there's a lot of money to be made. These are fully funded with insurance, high dollar, lucrative, because there's high demand, because all of the roofs in this area are ruined. So there's a lot of work to do, supply and demand. So they're here. I would be careful with using one of them. When they go back to Minnesota or Iowa and you have a problem with your roof, they're going to come fix it. I would suggest you try to stay with someone who is very reputable and probably someone who's closer to home so that if you have problems in the future, you can call them up. So let's say you do have one of those bad insurance companies and they're dragging you through the ringers, they're not paying out, you're you're getting frustrated. Well, there are companies called public insurance adjusters. Just like private insurance adjusters work for the insurance company, the public insurance adjuster is hired by you, the homeowner. They work for the public, so you hire them. They work on a contingency basis usually, and they are experts at this. They'll get you the most for your claim. They'll deal with the nonsense of a poor insurance company. Um, they're going to take like 10 to 20% of the money though, but it might be necessary if you have a really poor insurance company. I would say probably a last resort because you're probably at some kind of an adversarial stage of the process of getting your roof fixed or your siding fixed, your house fixed from storm damage caused by wind and hail. Here's some other thoughts on this whole thing. Insurance adjusters have limited resources and now they're stressed out because they got to work like crazy because of the big storm that came through. So they're going to just be more open with the checkbook to get this done and behind them. They're going to open up the purse, they're going to open up the wallet, and start paying out to get this behind them, to get the stress done and go back to business as usual. They have teams that have probably come here from other places that are staying in hotel rooms, that are eating out. They're going to be more open to pay out right now to get this behind them. So I'd say make that claim. Make the claim and have them come and say, oh, here's a check for whatever and pay you out. Or maybe legitimately there is no damage to your roof because not everything was damaged in the path of the storm. So maybe legitimately there is nothing wrong. And then at that point, I think for them that the path of least resistance, they would probably be fine if you said, well, let's just cancel the claim then. Just forget about it. Just cancel it. So then you cancel the claim. No big deal. And also, as far as making a claim, will that raise your rates? I don't think it will because this is an act of God. I think your rates are going to go up no matter what. Insurance companies are for-profit businesses. Paying money out takes away from profits. So they're going to raise your rates. Your rates are going to go up. I don't think it's going to matter whether you make a claim or not. You're going to end up paying more for insurance later. So that's what I've learned kind of in the last few days. Hope this helps. I'm John Moss at General Property Management right here in good old Eau Claire, Wisconsin. You can learn more at generalpropertymanagement.com. When we all do our own little part, the world is a better place. Thank you very much for watching.